So I had this idea yesterday. I think so. I can't remember if it was yesterday or this morning. But point is, it was this game mechanic idea. Or I don't know, but like a type of movement system basically. So in a lot of games, in a lot of fighting games, um whether it's the Naruto Ninja Storm games or well, I mean, actually, no. It might just be that one, honestly. And like other kind of arena fighting games, kind of sort of, they pretty much have like a mechanic where you can dash towards a mechanic. What the fuck? Dash towards an opponent by tapping A twice. Oh no! It's the same in Dragon Ball games too. Naruto and Dragon Ball games are the same thing. Um, but you double tap A to auto dash towards the opponent, pretty much. Um, so I thought of that kind of thing, right? But and what I was thinking was you double tap it for the character to start running full speed towards the character, and then like let's say you're holding a sword, right? You double tap it for it to run full speed towards the opponent, and you could have different sword positions or different sword stances, depending on what you're doing. They would take different shapes essentially. Not literally. I mean, like the stances would look different depending on what you're doing, whether you're running, walking, um, moving sideways, backwards, forwards. So let's say you're running full speed forward, and you change your stance to where now the sword is pointed downwards, and it's not just pointed downwards, but it's dragging on the ground, right? So in the process, you're essentially dragging the sword along, or dragging the tip of the sword along the ground, resulting in it, resulting in dust kicking up behind you, you know, from the sword. So I thought of that, and then as you're doing it, or as you run towards the opponent, once you get to your desired point, let's assume it with this scenario, it's before you get to the opponent, maybe like five or so feet before you get to him, right? You then tap the D-pad, directional pad, basically where the arrows are on your controller. Let's assume you have a controller in your hand as well. A lot of assumptions during this, just so you know. Um, but you tap the right, up, left, then down. Um, in a sequence like that, and then that causes the character to start dashing around the opponent in a circle, pretty much taking or starting in the direction that you initially started the D-pad forward presses in. So since you started right, it would start running right, or start running in clockwise, I believe. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I burped. It was start running clockwise around the opponent. But yeah, I thought of it kind of sort of just because I thought of like all those moments in anime where there's like a character that runs towards a person and then they circle them, right? Sometimes they just start shooting projectiles towards the character, or they do it and eventually they dash in for like some kind of surprise attack because you don't know what direction they're coming from because they're circling you, you know. But yeah, as my brain kept going with the idea, I thought of, okay, now they're circling you, um, and then you would just tap it, um, I don't know, more times I guess to go faster and faster. And then you could like choose to do the projectile thing, where you start shooting projectiles, and um, depending on where your character is from, that's where the projectile would come from, pretty much. Um, but in my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, you have a sword, so you're running in a circle, and then you throw the sword at the person, and whether they dodge it or not, your next move is to then essentially, only way I could put it is like first step behind them. So pretty much you would maybe it would be a triple tap, so a double tap, pretty much. So maybe like a double tap would initiate your character taking the step towards dodge or towards full speed running. But if you triple tap, then it takes that step and then vanishes and then appears behind the character, pretty much. Obviously, it would take the equivalent amount of stamina for if you ran that distance. So let's say yeah, let's say if you ran um let's just say if you ran that distance, it would take 10 stamina, pretty much. But since you burst step the distance, then it takes 10 as well, but you appear behind them. Or maybe instead of it taking 10, it takes 12 or 11 or something. Maybe it takes the full amount of stamina you would have used plus 2%, you know, for you to appear behind them. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so let's assume your opponent dodges the sword. Okay, they dodge it, and then you burst up behind them, catch the sword, and then slash. Boom. You know. Um, Sadly, I can't show you it in my mind, but I'm essentially looking at it as I'm explaining it to you. Yeah. Imaginations are weird. Like, I'm looking at my screen right now that says, um, that attended, and um, I'm watching a video by Abba and Preach that's talking about Erica Kirk in the live stream, and Candace Owens talking about it. Or Candace Owens, sorry, not Owen Owens. Um, and I'm looking at this, but I'm it's weird. I'm simultaneously looking at, I guess, a GIF or a GIF. How the fuck people pronounce it? People pronounce it differently. So GIF, I don't know. Um, in my head, like and it's weird because I want to say I can see it, like because I can, but I can't. If you know what I mean. Like it's in my mind, I can see it, but when I verbalize that I can see it, I instinctively want to think of I can see it as clearly as my laptop is right here. You know what I mean? But then it's super weird because I can. It's one thing seeing it in your mind and your imagination. There's another thing in envisioning something overlaid. Like, okay, I'm looking at my laptop keys right now. I'm looking at my laptop keyboard. Um, in a way, I'm looking at an overlay of like little people on the keyboard, but I can't literally see them like as a schizo hallucination. A part of me wishes it was that fucking vivid. That would be awesome. You know, but it would also be scary because then if it was that vivid, then how would you know what's real and what's not? You know, and in a way, like you would be able to know, but because it's extremely vivid for you, even if you know it's not real, but you get attached to what you're seeing, then it's basically real, you know? Um, but yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.